a story that came out with Mr. Nick Shirley, who I really admire a lot. This is a young guy who's going around the country interviewing people. He's in New York City, he's in Minnesota, he's in LA, he's everywhere. And all he does, he's got a camera in one hand and a mic in the other, and he just goes around asking questions. And he's got the cojones to go up to people like in New York City that have illegal stands that are selling fake merchandise. He's got the cojones to go to a place like LA where all the riots are. He's got the cojones to go to um, Portland where a lot of the Antifa protesters are. And he's just exposing all of it. And most recently, he's been into Minnesota. He's been doing a lot of investigation in Minnesota and the fraud that's been embedded in Florida under the Tim Walz administration over there in Minnesota as him being the governor. And Nick is just straight up exposing all of these people. And he's doing that by, again, simply knocking on doors, going into daycare center. The recent thing he did was he went to this daycare center where instead of spelling Learning, learning, it said Learing, leering. And it was just so embarrassing to see because here's a daycare center that spelled learning incorrectly. And he goes into the daycare center, he knocks and he tries to interview some of the people there. And these Somali ladies who are all covering their face with the hijab won't answer any of his questions. And he's showing them paper documents like, look here, you received $1.9 million in federal funding. Where are the 99 kids? There are no kids anywhere. And you know what's astonishing to see? Here is a young man uh, doing all this work with maybe like less than $200. Where are the CNNs? Where are the MSNBCs? Where are the BBCs of the world? Where are the Sky News medias of the world? Where is the independent journalist of the world? The Time magazines of the world with billions of dollars in funding and can't cover any of these stories. They refuse to cover any of these stories. It's like, why? Why do you refuse to cover any of these stories with the amounts of billions of dollars of funding you have behind you? And it's just baffling to see. So here's this young man who's doing an incredible job exposing the Somalian fraud that's happening in Minnesota. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. We all know fraud is rampant. I could tell you, I live in New Jersey. I see similar stuff here all the time, like shady businesses that I'm like, wait a second. I walk by this place, I drive by it. My friends walk by it, drive by it. They never see anyone ever in these businesses. How have these stores or businesses or establishments have been there for so long, and there's no customer going inside ever? So I think clearly and again, you have to look at where the fraud is happening. It's happening in places like a Minnesota, run by Democrats. It's happening in New York City, places run by Democrats. It's happening in California, where billions of dollars are being funded into fraud organizations. It's happening in New Jersey, again, which is where I live. We just had a senator who was convicted and found guilty for a crime, and that crime was it's a crime. I'm trying to find out what it was off the top of my head. It was corruption. Bob Menendez was guilty of corruption. And then again, who takes the helm when these people are gone? It's their it's it's their breed. It's the son who takes over in New Jersey, for example, Bob Menendez's place. So the corruption is so deep, it's so systemic, it's rooted inside, and I think the federal government really needs to step in and start heavily investigating into these politicians For example, like a Bob Menendez, even his son, who's taken the helm. But again, more importantly, what's happening in Minnesota with Tim Walz, Ilian Omar, um, and that community, or the Somalian community over there, because we know it's systemic, and if it's happening there, I mean, I'm sure it's happening even in Patterson, New Jersey. I'm sure it's happening in Dearborn, Michigan. So we've got to start rooting this stuff out. And I think I would have given Trump an A plus plus if he had gone further with that. But I think 2026 is going to be a new year, and he's really going to hit the pedal to the metal in a lot of these issues. So thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to this channel and to the community. I appreciate it. And wishing everybody a happy new year.